It is seen at the start of the film that a professor was going to a forest for a research with his team by helicopter, where they find many eggs beside a lake. Professor gets excited, seeing them. Now Professor was locking one of the eggs in a jar to take it with him. At the same time, a giant snake appears from the lake. It was piranha and anaconda hybrid. It means, Piranhaconda. This, Piranhaconda, victimizes the professor's team, appearing from the lake. But Professor escapes from there. After this, it is seen when pilot of helicopter glimpses Piranhaconda, he begins to fly helicopter from here. But, Piranhaconda, attacks the helicopter. As a result, helicopter is crashed. Professor got worried, seeing helicopter. Because it was only a way to escape from here. The scene moves to that forest where the shooting of a movie was going on. And many people were working with the movie director. Then the two movie workers, Jack and Rose, are also seen there, who were talking with each other. And it is also known that they both are the close friends. Then a girl appears there who was asking about light meter. Rose tells her that it is at the bank of the lake. As that girl was searching for that light meter near the bank of the lake, Piranhaconda appears there. That girl cannot detect its arrival. As she looks up after lifting the light meter, she is very scared. Seeing Piranhaconda, she runs to the forest while shouting. But Piranhaconda also pursues her here, and it swallows that girl's half leg as she falls down. So she could not walk and she was also finding difficulty to walk and save herself. Then, Piranhaconda swallows her while attacking her. Now, Jack and Rose again come on the scene again, where Rose was telling him about her research on Piranhaconda. But Jack does not believe on her words. She tells Jack that it has been seen in the forest just now. But Jack ignores it, making fun of it. One girl was moving to that lake to take the bath. Piranhaconda suddenly attacks her. That girl screams loudly as she sees Piranhaconda. But Piranhaconda swallows her completely at a time. Now Professor is shown who notices a mill. But a gang member grabs him, coming there. Professor explains to the criminals that it is not safe for us to stay here. I will hand you over the money that you need. But we should flee from here. They began to laugh on his told story. They lock him in the mill. The criminals find an egg jar while checking the bag of Professor which he had found near the lake. A new researcher team is also seen in the movie. They had arrived in the forest to take a weed flower in order to create ease for curing the human physical problems. That researcher parts from her team in search of that flower. On the other side, that doctor's team members get those flowers. They hear the loud shouting of the doctor. They were leaving after taking this flower. Then Piranhaconda reaches there. It victimizes both of them badly, surrounding them. Now the site of the film shooting is shown. It is seen that an actress comes near the lake to memorize the script, where she glimpses Piranhaconda, and she runs from there. Now that Piranhaconda was after her. One more Piranhaconda appears there. Before that, Piranhaconda attacks her. It reveals that there is not only one Piranhaconda, but two. And they both attack together to swallow that girl. Consequently, that girl is dismembered. In this way, she faces a pathetic death. Now, Jack is seen who was beside the action director of the movie. That action director teaches Jack to explode the blasting caps. They are exploded after throwing on the ground. On the other side, movie's director is seen who is telling all that this movie's investors has refused invest on it, so we will have to stop the film shooting. Hearing it, all feel sad. They all encounter the criminals when they were returning from there. All were feared, witnessing them. So one of the criminal fires his gun on the foot of the director. They are more afraid due to this, and they begin carry out their orders. But Jack and that action director throw those blasting caps on the ground, which are exploded, and they escape from there. Some of the criminals begin to chase both of them. The other criminals grab the cell phone from the rest of their team members, and they go, taking them. Jack and gunner director. There were some those gang members after them. They both decide that they will escape parting from each other. So those criminals' attention may be diverted. There was a criminal after that action director. He kills him with the help of a piece of a wood. On the other side, Jack jumps into a lake while running. But the man who was chasing him was constantly firing his gun at him. But Jack survives because of being under the water. Now, Piranhaconda reaches here and it swallows the pursuer criminal after Jack. Here, Jack is rescued from that criminal, but he is unable to glimpse Piranhaconda. But he knew that there is a monster here. He runs away, feeling fear from it. One of the gang member finds the camera of Professor. They watch the Piranhaconda in its video recording, and they are scared. Now a couple was being seen while enjoying on the island. When that boy moves to the forest, he becomes the victim of Piranhaconda. His friend was feeling fear because of his not reaching the spot even after a long time. But she overcomes her fear because she thinks that her friend is pranking with her. That criminal says to his head here, "We will not fight with any snake." Then he reveals that it is not a snake, it is Piranhaconda. He also says with it that we should leave this egg, because that Piranhaconda can arrive to us while searching for this egg. But their head does not do this and keeps that egg in his possession, because he thinks that a lot of money can be attained after selling this egg. One of the criminals records a video, making 3 of them sit. He says that we will kill 3 of them, finding no penny within 3 days. Rose is seen in the same scene, who calls that criminal towards her, and she flees after entrapping and attacking him. Being aggressive, that criminal sends his man after her. Rose reaches beside the lake while running. There are the eggs of Piranhaconda. Rose gets worried, seeing those eggs. Meanwhile, that criminal man arrives there. He is going to assault her. Suddenly, Piranhaconda appears there, and it victimizes that man. Rose returns back, witnessing it. Contrarily, Jack and his partner had also reached the mill, where they suspected that their comrades had been imprisoned. As they see through the binoculars, then they glimpse Rose there. Jack is seen who was firing his gun and killing criminals. And Jack's partner fixes a bomb in that mill. On the other side, Jack has brought all outside, rescuing them. The director whose foot had been shot, he says, "I will not be able to walk. I will stop those criminals," stopping here. Jack hands a gun over to that director here and he runs, taking all other companions. They had not yet reached the car that criminals start to fire their guns on them. And those members also react on it, firing their guns. There is a great battle among them. At the same time, Piranhaconda arrives here. Then all begin to shoot Piranhaconda, forgetting fight. But it does not get any harm. It eats a female member of the criminals at first sight. And they all are scared, observing it. On the other side, Jack's partner who had fixed a bomb in that mill, he detonates that bomb. That mill is destroyed, but he has also died, receiving a shot of a gun by someone. Now it is seen that they were escaping from there, driving away their car. But Piranhaconda was also after them. That criminal who had survived at that time, he chases them, riding on the bike. Piranhaconda appears before them, moving speedily in another way. Jack stops the car for a while, and they are scared, but Jack starts to drive the car now. All were scaring very much, because no one had the knowledge that what is going to happen. At the same time, that criminal attacks their car with the rocket bomb. It strikes Piranhaconda, leaving it injured. At the same time, the other Piranhaconda appears there. It kills the first Piranhaconda, finding it feeble. Jack's car is gone out of order, moving ahead. As a result, they get worried too much, because they had no other way. Then that professor informs them about a boat. He also tells them that he is unaware about that boat, so they will have to search for that boat on foot. Now director comes on the scene. It had been witnessed as he had survived. He finds that lady on the way who had been seen on the island. She tells him that I am waiting for my friend. Here the director begins to explain to him that your friend had been eaten by that giant snake. Disagreeing with director, that girl moves amid of the forest to see her friend. And she glimpses many eggs near the lake. That director tells her that these eggs surely belong to Piranhaconda. That girl starts to crack all those eggs in aggression, using a stick. At the same time, Piranhaconda arrives there. It attacks that man and eats his whole body except his feet. That girl had panicked, witnessing Piranhaconda, and she was screaming. Then, Piranhaconda eats her half-body. Jack and his companions had succeeded to search for a boat. Now they notice the egg jar in the bag of that professor, while sailing on that boat. And they say, "You had said that it can come after us due to this egg." And the professor declares here that I will study on it. Here they come to know that professor cannot leave this egg. A criminal shoots Jack's shoulder here, so his shoulder is wounded. Those criminals did not want the money. Now he wanted to kill that Piranhaconda. Jack restores his trust that we can end that Piranhaconda. Meantime, Piranhaconda appears there, and it begins to eat the members of the criminal one by one. There Jack's one of the companions say, "I bring those weapons. You and Rose may escape from here." At the same time, Piranhaconda reaches near her, eating everyone. And it also victimizes her. There, Rose had stressed, witnessing these happenings. Jack encourages her and also says, "I can finish it." He says to Rose, "Move to boat." When Rose was proceeding towards boat, the professor was nearly to flee, taking this boat. She sails on that boat, stopping the professor. Now that professor was going to sail that boat saying, now, Jack will also meet his end. On the other side, Jack is seen who leaves with weapons to end, Piranhaconda, riding on a four-wheeler bike. But, Piranhaconda, was chasing the professor through water. Rose says to the professor, "We should throw this egg." And she begins to throw it while lifting. Professor says to her, "Egg is the most important. It may be recorded in the history." In spite of it, Rose throws it into the water. Now that professor reverses that boat to take the egg back. As professor was going to take the egg out of the water, Rose pushes him into the water. She leaves, possessing that egg. Piranhaconda eats the professor in the water here. Rose reaches Jack, taking that egg. They reach near the lake, taking this egg back. They trickily fix a bomb inside the egg. As Piranhaconda begins to precede them, they throw that egg towards Piranhaconda, and Piranhaconda swallows that egg. That bomb is blasted in the mouth of Piranhaconda, leaving it wounded. Rose and Jack had fallen into water while throwing that bomb towards Piranhaconda, so they both had survived. Now they were excited there as being survivors. But it is noticed here that Piranhaconda was still alive, and the movie completes on this scene.